Welcome back to another CG Figures tutorial. Today I'm going to quickly run through how you can make a few generic pills in Blender. Let's start by deleting the default cube and adding in a cylinder. We're going to come down to this little menu here and change the cap fill type to nothing. Hit 1 on your number pad or come into front view, tab into edit mode, and hit Z and drag into the wireframe view. I'm then going to, in edit mode, add a UV sphere and hit G, Z, hold down Control, and move my mouse up until it snaps into place. I'll then zoom in, box select these bottom vertices, hit X, and delete the vertices. Then I'm going to drag another box over this ring here, hit M and merge by distance. If M is not working for you, try Alt M. It is the shortcut key change between different versions of Blender. You'll notice that we deleted 32 vertices there, so this is now one object. We're going to hit Control R, add in a loop cut right in the middle, right click to snap that in place, box select these bottom vertices, and then hit X and delete them. I already know that I'm going to want this pill to be a little bit taller, so box select those top vertices, hit G, Z, and drag up. Then hit Control R and add just a few loop cuts by scrolling up on your mouse wheel until we have roughly squares. That's going to do. Hit Alt A to deselect everything. Hit Z and drag into solid view, tab back into object mode, and come over to the modifier properties. We're now going to add a mirror modifier, change the axes from X to Z, and go ahead and apply that modifier. Now this is our generic pill. We right click, shade smooth, and you can already see that we're not doing too bad. We're going to make 4 different variants of this pill. So we're going to hit G, X, bring that to the side, and then Shift E and X to drag that over, and we'll start with the first one. Tab into edit mode, hit 3 for face select, and Z and drag into wireframe. Go ahead and select all of these bottom faces, then hit Alt E and extrude faces along normals. And we're just going to drag that out just a little bit. That looks good. Tab back into object mode, and you can see there's a bit of a shading issue here. We're going to fix that by adding a bevel modifier, changing the limit method to angle, bringing the segments to 2, the offset down to 0.01, and we'll also add a subdivision surface modifier of 1. We'll also do the same thing for this first pill by hitting Control 1. And now we've got a little bit of a nicer, smoother pill. Grab the first pill, Shift D, X, bring it out to the side. This time we're going to tab into edit mode, and we're going to make sure that we are grabbing this center ring of edges. So 2 for edge select, Z for wireframe, and box select right there. Then we're going to go ahead, hit O for proportional editing, and we're going to keep it on smooth. Hit S to scale and just drag up. You'll notice that there is actually a little gray ring. We want that gray ring to be such that we are seeing it just about here, and this is roughly the shape that we're going to go for. And that will make a little bit more sense later on. Shift E one more time, X to drag that out to the side, and this time we'll add a solidify modifier, coming back into solid view. We're going to drag that thickness down until we've got something just a little bit thicker there. Hit S, Z, and scale that in, and now we have something that would be a little bit more. This was your generic pill, this would be your extra strength. We're now going to go ahead and get set up with our rendering and our materials. So come to the Render Properties tab. I'm going to do everything in Eevee. We'll start by enabling screen space reflections, and we'll open this box to click refraction. Come down to the Materials tab, and we'll start with our first pill. Add in a new material, bring this roughness value down to 0.25, and click that base color, and just drag the value all the way up to 1. So you can follow along and see what I'm doing. We're going to hit Z and drag into the Material Preview mode, and while I like the idea of this kind of single color sheen, maybe if it was something a little more interesting, green, blue, etc., we're going to keep that at roughly white. And what we're actually going to do is make this two-tone. So 1 for the front view, and now again in wireframe with face select, grab all of those lower faces, add a new material, and we'll do that by hitting the plus, then new. For the base color, we're going to go with red. We're also going to put the roughness down to about 0.25 here, and we will assign that. Coming back into the material preview, you now see that we have a very standard two-tone pill. We're going to do the same thing here. So go ahead and instead of adding in a new material, we'll just click this little button here and choose Material 01. Now, same idea, hit Tab for edit mode. You can see we've already selected these faces, but if you hadn't, Alt-A to deselect everything. Again in the wireframe, face select these bottom ones, and if you're having a hard time getting that edge there, once you have all the bottom ones, simply hit Control+, and that will grab that top edge. We're then going to plus again, add in that new material. We already have our red one made, so that's perfect. We'll do that, and we'll click Assign. Come back into Material Preview, and now you see, here we go. Nice simple pill, nice offset edge pill, and these are going to be the fun ones. So this is going to be your kind of generic painkiller. Go ahead and add in a new material. We're going to start by dragging the roughness to 0. We're going to go with a sort of lighter blue for this. And then we will drag the transmission all the way up to 1. Come down to the Settings tab, and we're going to choose Alpha Blend. Now, you might encounter some interesting little defects around this ring. That's because this show backface is on. We do not want that on, but we do want to enable screen space refraction, and we're going to just press once on this little tab over here, and there we go. You can actually keep it at 0, but there's a little distinction to be drawn here. If I go ahead and show you what that is, we'll add a cube, and we'll just quickly move it behind here. Now, if I have it with this setting and the screen space refraction on 0 meters, you can see I can see the cube through there, but it's distorted. If I bring that up to 1, now I can see the cube perfectly through there, so that depends on how you're setting up your scene, but it is an option. Finally, we'll grab this last little pill over here, and this one we're going to copy that material. So click this one, then shift and click the blue one, Control L, and we're going to make links with the materials. Then grabbing your stouter pill, come over here, click that little 2, so it's now its own material, and we'll change that base color to something a little bit more yellowy green, as you might see in a generic pharmaceutical. And just like that, we now have our 1, 2, 3, 4 generic pills that you might see in any kind of science render. As always, thanks for coming out. If you found this useful, consider subscribing or sharing with your friends and colleagues. And until next time, have yourself a great old day.